Hello, welcome back to the library. Have you ever been beside yourself that you just couldn't beat a game? Well, have I got a surprise for you. To understand that statement, we'll need to travel back in time and across the ocean to Japan, specifically the International Garden and Greenery Exposition in 1990, lovingly abbreviated to Expo 90. Beloved video game creator Namco decided that they wanted to create the ultimate video game there, an experience no one else could clone. The answer? To build the literal largest video game ever made at the time with every 1990s era bell and whistle you could throw at it. They accomplished their goal so well, in fact, that the game required its own building. In pure amusement park fashion, the house that Namco built would be home to the 28-player experience known as Galaxian³. To understand how big a monster ride this really was, we'll need to refer to the Beast's own advertisement flyer. Park visitors were greeted by Namco staff dressed in full pilot crew and staff uniforms tied to the in-game world. As they were led inside, internal staff acting as pilots would instruct them on how the machine worked, guiding them to their seats, and more. The 28 people would be divided evenly with 14 players in each half of the room. This was no ordinary room, however. It was a giant hydraulic lift with the projectors mounted on the center support column projecting out to the wall. Once the employee pilot was seated, the entire construct would rise up, tilt, roll, and shake along with the on-screen movement. Forget roller coasters, this was where the fun was. Galaxian³ would then be projected onto the entire room, providing an insane 360-degree 7-minute experience as gunners fought to take down the enemy fleet and stay alive. 3 special in-game events were tied to the patron's sharpshooter skills. Each user held a giant flight yoke to move a cursor on the screen. Once the ride was over, player scores were tallied and the best shot had their first place rank called out with an on-screen wreath. Once the expo was over, the setup was moved to Namco's own Wonder Egg Park until that site's closure in 2000. During that time, Namco began to scale the project down a bit, starting with an all-new 16-player version being built for several other locations. As the game made its way to the United States, it received its last public paring down to just 6 players. If you were hitting larger arcades and amusement parks in the USA around 1993, you'd have witnessed the bright yellow and blue beauty. To lower cost, the 6-player version ran on Namco's System 21 hardware, with multiple Laserdisc players acting as the screens. The game required a small room-like enclosure to ensure ambient light and shadows didn't obstruct the player's views. Finally, 3 years after the game's worldwide release, Namco went back to the drawing board one last time to create the PlayStation version. Released in 1996 to Japanese audiences, the console version was reduced to 4 players, had the video footage updated, and more goodies that we'll get to in a moment. Now that we have the hardware taken care of, let's talk storyline. You and your fellow gunners sit aboard the giant ship Dragoon, where your battle stations are located at the front top half of the ship. The game's pilot automatically flies you in and around the alien ships, asteroids, and giant armadas. Every so often, a chance to blow up something bigger happens, and a few seconds of footage will change based on your success. As members of the United Galaxy Space Force, the Dragoon departs from the local space dry dock, plunging you and your friends into harm's way. In researching various planets, it's discovered that an alien race known as the UIMS is doing nasty things to the area. This includes building the Cannon Seed, a ginormous superweapon capable of obliterating planets and even suns. Since we don't want that to happen, it's off to the races. If you already watched my video on Starblade, you shouldn't be surprised that the game is 7 total minutes. From the opening movie to right before the credits roll, 7 minutes. If you only count the time you're actively allowed to shoot your weapon, it's a solid 5 minutes. Yes, this game is 5 minutes long. Remember, it started life as an arcade game where people had to be continuously shuffled in and out to make the most money. But I can hear you asking, what could Namco have possibly done to validate buying this on the PlayStation? A whole lot, actually. In fact, this may be the first time a game's option screen is more badass than the game itself. For starters, the home version received an expansion pack called the Rising of Gorb, which is accessed by highlighting the video preview and pressing right. This PlayStation exclusive adventure sees new enemies and locations to fight across. Not to be confused with the arcade's expansion pack, Attack of the Zolgir. Sadly, the latter was never released to the home market, perhaps as a way to try and rekindle interest in the arcade machine. Gorb is a wee bit harder than the original, but that actually can be helped later on. Now, let's jump into the options screen. The immediate first awesome option is the widescreen mode. That's right, back when CRTs were the only widescreen in town, Galaxian changed the aspect ratio from the letterboxed 4:3 to an impressive 16:9, which replicated the multi-screen setup used in the arcade. It's super impressive to see in real life, even on a smaller screen like the Sony 3D monitor. If you can project it onto a wall, my god, do it! Now that we have a killer video setting, let's go back to the blaster options. The game's default setting is neutral in its power ratings here on the PlayStation. However, you can now adjust those to have faster shots, a wider beam, or a slower, more powerful beam. Eventually, you'll be able to unlock the Super Blaster, which activates all three raised stats at once. It's practically a god killer. It's incredible. Also new to the console is a difficulty setting, which plays a dual role. Besides making your life more difficult, it also is tied to the second coolest feature here, Gunner Mode. The game gives you Frank to start with, and activating him drops him into the third seat. He becomes your partner for the game, helping take down enemy fighters. The hidden genius here is that you're also playing against him, score-wise. If you successfully beat Frank on the easy difficulty, you'll unlock Rieko, who must then be activated and have her score beaten on normal to unlock Johnson. Succeeding Johnson on hard provides the ultimate challenge by unlocking expert difficulty with Shark. I haven't beat him yet. Expert's really hard with him. Finally, and ultimately, the greatest feature on the disc is play recording mode. If you turn this on, your next gameplay session will be recorded from start to finish or till your untimely demise. Once that run is done, you can then save it to your memory card with a name. Now, go back to the gunner battle, scroll past the challengers, and you'll be able to choose your former self as your partner. You not only play alongside yourself, but you can try to beat your own score in real time. The recording feature hides an amazing, if perhaps unintended, side effect. If you flip the script on the concept, you turn your own opponent into a programmable partner. Remember how you can choose the blaster settings? That sticks with the save data. So if you're big on conquering your own high scores, you can now strategize your own ghost data. Do you give them the rapid fire blaster and focus on the minions while you take care of the bigger ships? Do you give them the power shot to help take down the core faster while you play wingman? What if you both take rapid fire and just divide the screen in half per playthrough? The possibilities are fantastic. Even funnier, since the game auto-fires by default, you can set up the third and fourth controllers to aim at a single spot and then just place a heavy object on the thumb buttons to keep them firing. This is particularly useful against the final core since you only have 10 seconds to knock out all the modules. Just remember, you can only have one ghost active at a time, and if you use the glass trick, you're also missing out on points. Finally, while Starblade's mouse use was a secret, Galaxian³ proudly and loudly embraces everything Namco could throw at it. The mouse, the Nijikon, whose tilt function adjusts cursor speed, and even the giant analog flight stick are in play. Like with Starblade, it's mouse all the way for me. It just feels right. Over 30 years later, Galaxian is a testament to the lost art of porting arcade games to the home. Namco took what was designed to be a giant panoramic experience and successfully converted it to an at-home scoreboard challenge. While we lost the arcade atmosphere and giant flight yokes, we gained an exclusive mission, virtual player 2s, and the ability to customize the experience in every way possible, even more if you use the test option set programmer's cheat. On the review scale, Galaxian³ is a great 8 out of 10. It changes how you view rail shooters and makes you appreciate just how much fun can be had with 7 minutes of your time. Especially if you bring friends. Or yourself. And there you have it, guys. This episode took a little longer than usual because I fell into a fantastic rabbit hole of preservation and other people's adventures with the game. YouTuber Darth Nuno has very, very rare clips of the 28-player version's attract videos in real-life gameplay. Multiple folks have spent precious time trying to recover, repair, and preserve the 6-player editions that haven't been parted out and destroyed. One of these includes a collector who appeared to be trying to rebuild it in his own house. It's just incredible. I'll have all the links down below in the video description. Like Starblade, there's a Japanese laserdisc that contains all the enemy data, playthrough, and more. It's about twice the price of the Starblade LD though, so be careful. And that does it for Galaxian 3. Did you guys have a chance to play this behemoth, even if it just was in the 6-player mode in America? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section, and I'll see you there. Be safe, play games, I'm here when you need me.